What's up, guys? This is Joe from Analog Archive back with another vinyl video. Today's video is going to be another contribution to the Blue Note 1500 series that was started by Steven at In the Bass Clef. And I showed yesterday Blue Note 1523, which was introducing Kenny Burrell, and today's is going to be a little bit before that, Blue Note 1518, Horace Silver and the Jazz Messengers. This has a very iconic cover. I've seen this record in passing here and there, and whether it was an issue with the price or the condition, or it wasn't kind of the pressing that I was looking for, whatever reason, I never picked it up until recently, where I got this copy, and have been really, really pleased with it. This was originally recorded in over 2 sessions in December of 54 and then February of 55, and then this came out later. This originally was put out as 2 10-inch that were under the title of Horace Silver Quintet Volume 3 and Volume 4, and those came out probably in like 55, and it was before Blue Note had kind of gotten into the 12-inch market. That wasn't until 56, so these were then re-released in October of 56 and given the catalog number 1518. There are 8 tracks on the album. 7 of the 8 tracks are Horace Silver contributions or compositions, and that's not really very uncommon for Horace Silver. He's the type of jazz artist where most of his albums have a considerable number of kind of personal or he wrote quite a few of the tracks on it. So for this one, again, he wrote every song except for one, and this has Kenny Dorham on trumpet, Hank Mobley is on tenor sax, Horace Silver is on piano, Doug Watkins on bass, Art Blakey on the drums. This actually has the same lineup as what was seen on Blue Note 1507 and 1508, which were the 2, they were just under the title Jazz Messengers at Cafe Bohemia, the 2 live sessions at that jazz club, and this has the same lineup. So this was during that kind of intermediate point where the Jazz Messengers weren't an Art Blakey thing yet. It was soon after this album when kind of Art Blakey took the Jazz Messengers name, and kind of that was going to be associated with him. So the first track is on the A side is called Room 608. Again, that's the Horace Silver, one of the Horace Silver compositions. Has a really great Kenny Dorham trumpet kind of playing in solo, and that it's a very fast-paced tempo track. Really great piano playing as well by Horace Silver, and just an impressive way to kind of start off the album. And then you get into track 2, which is it's called Creepin' In, and that is it's got a little bit slower of a tempo, more of like a mid-tempo. None of the tracks really are very slow. Most of them might slow down a little bit, get into kind of more of the mid-tempo, very bluesy, kind of swing feel to the tracks, but none of them are ballads. There are no ballads on this album, which is something that is unique for a lot of these Blue Note albums. So, but yeah, as well, that one has a really great kind of swinging drum, kind of drum beat by Art Blakey on that one, and really great tone by Hank Mobley on that one as well. Very bluesy playing, but just that's kind of the theme of the album, is it's got this very bluesy feel to it, along with that kind of swing. You then get into the third track, which is it's called Stop Time, and that has a very quick tempo right out, kind of right when the track starts. It is very quick, and just really, really incredible playing by Kenny Dorham especially, and it's very in your face from the beginning, hitting those high notes very quickly, really kind of climbing the scale very quickly and getting to those really high notes. Very impressive to kind of see him do that, especially at such a young age that he was. He was just getting kind of started. He'd had a few sessions here and there, but this was around the time he was really picking up, along with Hank Mobley as well. Really early contribution by him, and just a real incredible kind of playing with that. And within that song, which is very common when you have Art Blakey on an album, is where kind of halfway through the song there'll just be this random drum solo, and just that's kind of on that track especially, and then it goes back and forth between Kenny Dorham and Hank Mobley, and then Art Blakey comes back in and has a kind of a more long, he takes kind of a much longer solo to kind of end the track, and then the melody comes back just like it would. So, and then the closing song on the A side is To Whom It May Concern, and that's got, again, more of a mid-tempo feel to it. The melody kind of starts off just like most of the hard bop songs, and then just very quickly comes Horace Silver to set the tone of the song. Real bluesy, kind of tickling the keys feel to it, and just a really great way to start off that song. And then Hank Mobley comes in and really plays well as well, and then Kenny Dorham comes in to kind of really especially hit those high notes again, and especially on this track you can hear him really reaching for those high notes, and it's just, especially on that song, he's on another level. And this is the feel that I had after listening to this album with Kenny Dorham especially was the same way I felt after listening to the volume 2 of the Cafe Bohemia Jazz Messengers 1508. Just really incredible playing. Never really heard Kenny Dorham play like that, because when he gets into some of the later albums, even when he gets closer to the 60s, it seems like he loses that touch a little bit. He isn't really as kind of real on edge, really on fire. Kind of takes a little bit more of a softer approach, and it's still great, but it's not as, in my opinion, it's not as great as his early work on these Jazz Messenger albums. You then flip to the other side. So the first song on the B side is called Hippie, and has a short kind of drum solo to begin, just kind of going around the kit. And then Kenny Dorham again is real strong on that one as well. And Hank Mobley really makes his presence felt on that one especially, and especially for being so young. I'm not positive on exactly how old he was, but probably was like maybe in his mid-20s or so, and just really great playing as well. Sounds like he's been doing it for years, even though he's really just getting started on these albums. And then, of course, at the end, there's another drum solo, Art Blakey. Again, it always seems like when you've got Art Blakey on an album, he always has quite a few drum solos. So, nothing to really complain about. It's just something that you don't really see that a lot on other albums. You might have one or two drum solos for an album, but it seems like almost every track he's got some type of contribution. So you get to then the second song, which is called The Preacher. And in my opinion, when I listened to this one, it had kind of this cheesy, it's a little bit of a cheesy opening melody to it. But then once the solos start, Kenny Dorham starts the solos off, and it really changes, the sound changes very quickly with that, and gets away from kind of almost like this swing big band from the 40s sound to a much more modern, if you want to say, sound to it. So just a really great one as well. And then The third song on the B side is called Hankerin. That's the only song not written by Horace Silver. That's Hank Mobley original, and just a really great composition, um, and kind of by him. So great to see him right from the beginning being able to do that. That's a very quick track. Art Blakey really drumming hard on that one, really setting the tone and the kind of the pace of the song, but just a really great one. And Horace Silver really impresses on that one as well. Really noticed that especially. I don't always, and I didn't say this in the last video, but piano isn't really always an instrument that I can kind of pick out of the albums. It's really usually the horns, the saxophone, or the trumpet, or just like a trombone or something. But in this case, his style of playing really makes you listen to it. So it's really great. That song especially, really enjoyed Horace Silver on that. And then the closing song was going to be, sorry, I didn't write down that one. It was Doodlin', and that's again another Horace Silver original. And again, more of a swinging feel to that, which was a common theme on the album, but really great playing as well, very bluesy sound to it. And again, the horn players, Hank Mobley, Kenny Dorham, both impress really greatly. And then yeah, so that was really that one of all the songs seems to have a little bit of the most restraint. It's not as kind of out there or as wild as a lot of the other tracks. It seems to be a little bit more controlled, but a really great one overall. So that's the Blue Note 1518 Horace Silver and the Jazz Messengers. My copy is a second mono. It's the 47 West 63rd Deep Groove. And it actually, this is the only album that I have in my collection that has this is actually an original jacket that came with it. It's got the 767 Lexington Ave. And so just kind of something cool. I didn't really notice that until after I got it home, but sounds really great. The A side, when I bought it, I made sure that I listened to it before I actually purchased it because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to be too noisy. But these old Blue Note pressings are real war horses. They really stand the test of time, and even if they do look a little bit kind of rough, they play really well. And this one, especially after giving it a clean, sounds better than some albums that I actually bought just recently as well that looked pretty clean. I mean, this album sounds amazing, and it's the type of album where you really need to have it. The cleaner that it is, the better you're going to get, because the crisp tone of Kenny Dorham, Hank Mobley, Horace Silver really stands out much stronger if you've got a cleaner copy. So really glad to be able to get this one. If this is a record you don't have, I definitely recommend it. This is an incredible album. After listening to it a few times and really kind of scratching my head as to why it took me so long to pick it up, because it is incredible. This has really become one of my favorite albums, really one of my favorite jazz albums. Just incredible playing by all, and a great one to have in the collection. So this again is Horace Silver and the Jazz Messengers, Blue Note 1518. Yeah, that'll do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please think about liking and subscribing, and I will see you in the next vinyl video. Bye.